Welcome, everyone, to the Dennis Boy Jr. podcast. Hey, everyone. Welcome to today's podcast. And in today's episode, I'm going to share my relationship with progress and change and how to create change. And this is something that I use each year, that I've been using for the last several years now, in order to help me create my resolutions for the upcoming year and to create that change or that progress that I'm looking to make in my life for the upcoming year. And I learned this, I can't remember who I learned this from, but what the process is in order to create change or in order to create progress, and usually you can make it happen within a relatively short period of time, is by doing one of four things, right? And that's, you're going to stop doing something. You're going to stop doing something that you're currently doing. You're going to start doing something that you're not currently doing. You're going to do less of something that you may currently be doing, or that you may, want to adjust. And then you're also going to do more of something that can help push you further along. And I find that using these four different, actions allows you to create a lot of change in your life in a relatively short period of time. And, a year is 365 days. So you can definitely make a lot happen by, starting a new habit or stopping one that's been detrimental or holding you back and keeping you from reaching a certain level of progress that you are looking to make. The final two, doing more of something or doing less of something, are very interesting, because those are ways that I've seen to take something that you may not have been making a priority and give it that, that raise on the list of your priorities of things that you want to do. So for me, I got my journal right here. I can tell you what year it was. So looking at some of my New Year's resolutions for 2018, as you can see, I did good on two of those. The other two kind of not so much, but I did attempt at them. So there's four different things. I have four resolutions, and this was just ones that I had for my health. Stop eating fast food, start working out consistently, increase the amount of sleep I get at night, and decrease the amount of chips I eat. So those are my resolutions for my health. In 2018, my resolutions for relationships were, increase or spend more time with family outside of holidays. I definitely did not do too good at that. Suffocate the people I care most about with communication, start reading the Bible on a regular basis, and pray daily. Now for my finance, we had to pay off my chiropractor bill, which I did that year. So in 2018, I made a declaration that 2017 will be my last year being broke. I'm still working on that one. But it's a process. The next one was don't use credit if it can't be paid off in less than 3 months. And the last one was to be in a position to move out on my own and survive. I did end up doing that, but I was a year late on that one. I still ended up getting that done. And then I also did one for time as well. So for time, I put down to ask for help. So that's what I was going to start doing, because I don't do that regularly. And so say no more than I say yes. I did start doing that more. So I did increase that, delegate tasks, and get Big Mo on my side. So that's what how I create my resolutions for the year. And I know a lot of people, and at least in recent years that I've seen, they are Project Binder. Um, they're not really into resolutions, and I'm not sure why. I think that for me personally, in my opinion, I I'm more fascinated with resolutions now than I have been in the past, like prior to my working my working years, or really prior to, I'd say, 2013. Um, they were just things. They were goals rather than resolutions, and I think I'm much more excited and fascinated by resolutions than goals, because resolutions for me means that I'm resolving to do this thing, and there's not like an endpoint. It's a life for me. It's a change in lifestyle. It's a change in behavior, and it just ultimately changes the trajectory of your life. And it requires commitment. It requires accountability, and it requires something of you to do it. And I know a lot of people, they as you see, when people make their New Year's resolutions, they make them, and then like a month later, 2 months later, February, March, they're kind of just they fell off the wagon by that point. And just back to what's comfortable and what's normal for them. And one of my mentors, several of them, they say this all the time, is to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And it's starting to be more clear to me now than it has in the past. And I get a lot more clarity and more certainty when I take this time for myself. I get a lot more clarity, when I take this time for myself to really get a better understanding of what it is that I want to accomplish in the year, and also to look back and see what I've done in the past year, right? To see how far I've come and how committed I was to my resolutions. And so where I'm at right now with one of my resolutions is to not spare other people's feelings at the expense of my own personal health. One thing that I realized is that because of my communication style and how I communicate with other people for a majority of my life, there's a lot of times where things are said that I'm kind of like, I don't know about that one. And, I just do it, right? And I'm like, this sounds this just doesn't make sense. We should be doing it this way. We should probably do it this way, but whatever, I'll do it that way. And then, it just causes a lot of unnecessary time, unnecessary stress, long nights, long days, early mornings. And so trying to, stay committed to my personal self-care and, getting my health back in tip-top shape, trying to be as vibrant as I can. I'm going to make it, a resolution for this year to, in those moments, in those instances, say what's really on my mind, versus, like I mentioned earlier, like I said earlier, like sparing that person's feelings, at the sacrifice of my own personal health. Like that just, that doesn't work. At least now, for the amount of energy and effort that I'm going to be putting into myself and the things that I want to accomplish, for the next 1,000 days. And I've got to be what I've learned is that, being selfish with your time is a way that you can become selfless. I got that from Gary Vaynerchuk. And, being able to provide for others and do for others is very difficult, if you're not providing or doing for yourself first. And, people will feel whatever way they feel about it, but it's your life. And you have to do what's best for you. And once you got everything together, not saying that you should, cut everything off to get yourself together, but, work on finding that balance, work to find that balance. And that's something that I have not done. That's something that I've been intentional about. And I want to make that, one of my resolutions for 2020 is to, really share what's on my mind. I think I've been doing a lot more of that now, especially with this podcast. It brings a lot of that out. And with that, I've become more comfortable in conversations and sharing things. So I'm definitely looking forward to some of those conversations that, will be interesting. And as they adapt to that new behavior that I will be doing, or whatever it is, presenting, taking action on, taking progress and moving forward in. So we got 2 more podcasts for the year. Next week's podcast, I'm pretty sure, now that I think about it, because my sister is graduating tomorrow, will probably be a video of that, and kind of, like a vlog of that day. Now I think that actually would be kind of cool. I don't think she's probably not watching this podcast either, so she won't know that I'm going to do it until after the fact, but we'll see how that goes. So yeah, man, just simple ways to create change. Stop doing something, start doing something, increase or do more of something, or decrease or do less of something, and just to kind of not leave it out and open like that, without any context behind it outside of what I've already shared. Just thinking about ways to apply that in your own personal life. What's one area of your life that you feel like you can apply one of those 4 or all of those 4 steps to creating positive change in your life? Drop those in the comments below. So, for example, I am, for 2020, I'm recommitting myself to my weight training regimen. So, number 1, I'm going to start working out 4 times a week. 2, I'm going to stop staying up late. I am very, very good at staying up late. Sometimes staying up too late, sometimes staying up for days, not days, at least a day. I've almost hit the 2-day, I've almost stayed up for 2 days at one point. I don't advise you to do that if you don't have to, unless it's absolutely necessary. So yeah, get your rest. Number 3, I'm going to increase the number of steps that I take each day, and I'm going to increase the number of miles that I run each week. So the 4th thing, I'm going to sit less. I know that that's not good on my body. So I'm going to decrease the amount of time that I sit in a chair, or be in the seated position. Like, even for this podcast, I've been sitting the entire time, right? So that's good. That's got to change. I want that to change. I don't want that. I don't want to be a person who's always sitting, either at a computer or, in the car. Like, I've got to get up and move, stretch, get my body moving and stay mobile. And so that's just like an example. All right. So drop in the comments below. What are you going to start, do more, or do less of in 2020 to create positive change in your life? As always, I'll see y'all next week.